And a one, and a two, and a skiddly diddly do. Let's go. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. And it is morning. It is 10:30 in the morning. On a Thursday. It's been said that there have been those that could never get the hang of Thursdays. I've always had a knack for them myself. Ah, yes. Case in point, I'm up right now. Unbelievably. And I'm in the mood to do a bit of a short run. And I'm in a bit of a mood to podcast, so let's do it. Let us begin by stepping up the tempo of the footsies. Ooh, yeah. Let's check the inside of the hips for the cracking. They are not cracking. Oh, they did. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let that be a lesson to stretch in the morning before activity. Yeah, boy. Yeah, I fell out of drills. I did. All the things. All the good things. The solid things I do. You can't be 100% amazing all the time. Or perhaps things just get a little more subtle here and there. Oh, routines and habits. It's been said sometimes you eat the bar and sometimes the bar, well, it eats you. I never understood what the hell Sam Elliott was talking about when he said that, playing that unnamed character in that movie, The Big Lebowski. What did he mean? What's the bar? Was he talking about a physical bar because he was having a sweet sarsaparilla at an actual bar? Was he talking about a standard? Sometimes you eat the standard, as in sometimes you null the standard. Sometimes the standard seems to dissolve and null you, or your values, or what you bring to the table. That's a possibility. A lot of folks seem to get lost in the standards of the day. The zeitgeists, the umbrella agreements. Yeah. And he could have meant it either way. He could have not meant anything at all. Could have just been a cool thing to say. Sometimes you eat the bar. What does that mean? Of course, he could have been a little more literal, couldn't he? He could have meant sometimes you just had one too many, and the next thing you know, your face hits the bar, kind of like the opposite direction of Billy Bob Thornton in that movie Bad Santa. The back of his head hit the floor. Sam Elliott's saying that perhaps the front of your face sometimes hits the bar. Which might be another way of saying sometimes it's just lights out. And that's just a reality. Maybe he meant sometimes like when you put your head down on the bar, right? Sometimes you eat the bar. Sometimes you get down and you just gotta get the forehead on that bar. I've been there. Not at a bar. I've been there mostly in school that I remember. A lot of wooden desks have a lot of my grease probably still peeling chemically off of them. I mean peel with two E's, of course. Thank you. From all these years. Who knows where all those desks are? What happens to school desks after they've been retired? Once in a while they come to me. I reappropriated a school desk that was just left on the sidewalk, and I had it for about a year. It served me very well, and it did what desks always do, and it pinched my weenus a bit, pinched my forearms a bit, because that little rind around the desk was a little annoying. Never quite a tight seal on the desk. What am I going to do to interact with these construction folk up here? Can't get in the sidewalk. Can't get in the bike lane. I'm just going to have to approach this organically. One step at a time. There's There's no signage. Huh. What does one do? What is that machine? Let's see. They'll let me through, I bet. Beautiful day for it, though. Thank you. Alright. And then we weave this way and we're all good. Whew. Damn. Oh. Yeah, we've all been there, haven't we? Head down on the bar. Or the school desk. We've all been there. I think Sam Elliott was right. Sometimes you do. And alternatively, whatever you want to do, the bar has its will and its ways, doesn't it? You might not be expecting it. You might not be expecting it. I can tell you, gravity has its own will and way too. Gravity's just fine with human beings crumpling up and laying down and dying in the street. Or wheresoever. Including on top of a bar. Plenty of people have died on a bar. And then plenty of folks have picked themselves up. Whomsoever ate whomsoever. Didn't expect to mine that little monologue for quite this long, but it was compelling. I was compelled, and it came from an enthusiastic place. The enthusiastic place originated from a productive morning. The productive morning originated from earlier than usual, and earlier than usual originated from about 8:15. And now we take a right. Because I want to go to the walk spot. I want to go to the walk spot again. Yes. 8:15 after tossing and turning. After tossing and turning for the umpteenth time, I thought to myself, nay, I'm over it. I'm over trying to sleep and not being able to. It's like the opposite of the bar eating me. Sometimes the bar pushes you away. It's like my bed was rejecting me. It threw me up into an early morning. There I was, tangled and tussled. Well, what did I do? I don't know. Maybe I did a little bit of that Wim Hof practice. And I hit 3 minutes once. And I noticed, for the umpteenth time again, how quickly and how proficiently my mind wiggles away from my grasp to dominate the scene and think this, that, and the other thing. Well, my body's just patiently there in the semi-dark, tepid mores of my peripheral awareness, just sending signals and inviting me to explore. I was thinking, what is the texture of my ribs? What is within? What's the character of my breath? I explored all the regular avenues when I do Wim Hof, which is, big breaths. Big breaths while laying down on my back means that I have to maneuver my neck in such a way as to curl my chin forward at the top of the breath to avoid the reflex of straining my neck backwards to elongate the front of my torso to let more air in. And it's just like that, push and pull, in and out. 30 times, trying not to cramp my poor neck. What is stomach breathing? Stomach is not only in the front, I breathe in the back of the stomach too, and I feel that too. In and out, in and out. 3-dimensional accordion. In and out and up and down and forward and back and up and down and forward and back. And of course on the dives, which are the easiest part to get those neck cramps, because it's the biggest breath. And it's when the strategy changes and we turn to the next phase of the cycle. Well, On the dives, I did have a little tidbit of data that I managed to just savor before, again, I was washed in the mundanity of my cerebral cortex, which held on like a vicious little troll as long as it could, until it couldn't. But the savory data, which was to repeat across my cycles, was just, if I called it another form of mundanity, that's not wrong. But also, there's no ordinary moments. I believe that. So there's no ordinary dives either. So no matter how many times I've experienced any of these things, no matter what the pattern is, it's not like that makes any of them any less special. So there I was. I noticed with my lungs full, on my back, in the back of my neck threatening to tighten like it does, I noticed as my breath cascaded down and I began the dive, waves of tension. The neck and the back, deep within my back, like I've got wings in my back and they're beating. And I felt two beats, and they weren't in exactly the same place. They didn't feel exactly the same way. But if I had to use a word, and I do since I'm on a podcast right now, I would use the word tension. Threatening to cramp. I had to relax. Then, of course, there was the light show while I'm doing this. And then everything came to a ground like they always do. My body quieted down. There are moments in these dives when it is so much easier just to relax my entire body. Bottom of a dive, it's one of those times. At least, bit by bit. Because it's an overwhelming experience to let all that air out. And to have that forebrain get knocked out by the bat of the wailing of the lungs. And for my hind brain and cerebellum, and my brainstem. My cello and my Bernstein. Anyway, when I was down there, it was good. It felt good. And it happened again the next cycle. Beat the wings. Low res, hard to explore. But I did think to explore. And ain't that something? I had the sensibility to look inward for half a second. And that's something. And anytime we make any progress, it's something. Something to note, something to celebrate. I've had those deep sources of tension most times that I dive before they give way, of course, to the relaxation. And I had thought when I was down there too that as regular as these waves are, as regular as the repetition is, the cycle to become very tense, or just to notice the tension, and then for everything to dissolve with my assistance by not getting in the way. As much as that cycle is something that appears to mark a change of state or a change of mind in me, there's a meta practice as well. We practice the way that we practice so that we can eat the bar and the bar doesn't eat us, right? And I tried not to judge it too much. I acknowledged that I was having a tough time within all these repetitions, with the knowledge. Lost my train of thought there. Meta practice. A better way of saying it is that the meta practice was, hey, these cycles, they don't need to be what you think, what they are. They can change. I don't always have that kind of tension. It doesn't always dissolve the same way. In fact, it always dissolves a little differently. And in fact, the feeling is always different too. All of those different times are my agents. They give me information. Efficiently, I might add. In real time. It's up to me to parse the data and figure out what to do. And in that moment, I don't know, maybe I'd experienced it a couple of times. Maybe it's on cycle 3 or 4 this morning that I thought to myself in the dive, boy, it's a little heady, this feeling. And this cycle is a predictable one, relatively speaking. That's dangerous when I'm down here. That's dangerous because the practice is not about the light show. The practice is not about resolution of tension. The practice is about the practice. It's about the thing. You make the move about the move. It's not about the parts you don't like and the parts you do like. That's dualistic thinking. That's monkey brain. We don't need monkey brain. We're trying to go deeper. Deeper than the Crocs, even. I'm talking go from the lagoon to the ocean. From the trees, from the tippy tops of the highest trees, down into the lagoon, out the coast, down into the ocean, way deep down, where there's things swimming around in the deep. And yes, they look less and less human and less recognizable the deeper I go. They're like little figments that come up. Little feelings. Little flitting fletchlings of feeling. Is that the title for this episode? God, I hope not. It's annoying to say. Oh, walk spot. Whew. I don't know if I'm actually going to walk it this time, though. Because my plan is to about face at the end of this trail and come right back the way that I came. Because it's a short run. I'd like to walk this spot, though. And it's early. I'm not out here too often anymore. At this time. I've been here once at dawn. I wouldn't mind taking a slice out of that pie again in the near future. The haze feels pretty good. The crispness of the air feels pretty good. The quality of the sound feels pretty good. Oh, God. Yeah, I realized I was a bit indulgent in my cycles. Because at least if I tense up and relax, I know where to go and I know what to do. I can look forward to it. It can be a method into the deeper states. But Miyamoto Musashi would be like, tisk tisk, my little brother. The true way is the way of no way. A practitioner of the way of the void, a warrior, to which the way is emergent, might say, hey, we don't need methodology. We did our best, we did our things. When you're down, feeling these predictable things that give way to pleasant relaxed state after resolution of tension, that's a narrative. You're reading the same story again and again. But if you keep practicing, even right up until the point where the lights go out, that's a different story. Because, and I'm still thinking in Miyamoto's words here, even though I don't know the damn guy. So I could be misrepresenting his thoughts right now. But, I know. Oh, golly. Whew. Getting hit by flying insects. I know that at some level I have a choice about the tension, because it's not just that I recognize tension that's there. It's that when I'm up there about to take that dive and I'm laying down and there's all that tension and stress, a lot of that is self-wrought. For every granule or iota of that I get just from that does itself, let's say, and comes naturally, which is probably always going to be some. Whoa. Hi. How we doing? How we doing, bud? I don't know if I should approach you. Yeah. Hey, bud. Oh, you're a youngin'. There's not too many forks. Not too many forks in your spear bed, huh? Not too many branches in the rivers of your crazy head talons. Oh, well, that was quite nice. Didn't expect to come across a buck out here, did you? You must have seen that. Well, good to keep talking. Good to keep talking, making noise, just so everybody knows where I'm at. And I don't end up surprising the spear-headed youth that pronged upon me a second ago. He's probably half a field away by this point. And quiet, too. Very quiet. That's pretty cool. God, are we still recording? Yeah. Boy, I can tell this is a very... Yeah, there we go. I could tell this time that it was a very blurry image. I wonder how long it's been like that. One day I might care about that. Right now, I'm not too worried. That was nuts. If I'd been... There was a biker right there a second ago. Right where the buck was. God, sometimes things happen all at once, you know? Anyway, there are times when I have not been that tense. There have been times that I've not given more attention to the experience, and it's just done itself. And you know the difference. You know the difference somewhere. Can't tell you exactly what it is, but the first word I thought of when I thought of the difference between adding to the tension and not is there's a tidal washing quality to the practice when I dive down in such a way as to practice the no tension successfully. And this might or might not make any sense, and it may or may not matter to me. There have been times I've seen myself breathe that breath out after holding all that power inside, and it just washes away. Nothing inside but what was already there, revealed. No extra consciousness. No monkeys tinkering. No monkeys trying to swim down through the lagoon abreast of the crocs. Nor crocs trying to get down with the anglers. The anglers at the bottom. That's a better title. The anglers in the deep. Yeah, not bad. I'm watching. That guy comes lancing out from the knoll. I'm ready. As ready as a tiny pink pincushion can be. You know you're surprised when your body when your body reminds you in all the old ways of what surprise is in a genuine and immediate sense. That was me just now. When the biker came up, I jerked around and I felt my perineum like, remember, we're not out of the woods. You can't tense me all at once. If you do, you gotta be aware. If you're not aware, I might cramp on you. Remember, we were making progress on that. I did not cramp. That was good. I would have a year ago. Just in that little... just as quickly and as suddenly and as sharply as it was. Because I was ready to pivot and move, buddy. I told you I was ready. I was steeled. Yeah. These practices have their little seductive dead ends inside of them. I could be a guy who goes and does these dives, goes through all these cycles with the purpose of feeling good, because they do. And that leads down a track that is not entirely non-productive. But the practice is about the practice, isn't it? It's not about me. I stand to benefit more from it if I orient myself toward the practice in such a way as it's not about me. Because as soon as that, I can draw from resources that are bigger than me. I can go places that don't need me or don't want me there with my little human monkey brain. I can get down in the deep if I just let the deep come. That's all. One great thing about this particular practice is it sets up the space in a very keen way for just that interaction. Easier to do it when you're in your bed laying down and breathing and playing with oxygen levels than when you're in a conversation or when, I don't know, when you're diving off of a diving board or flying a plane or drawing a picture or slinging a gun. I thought I was going to start today by talking about gunslinging and trench coats, because what really turned my morning was not the breath work. It was not getting up and doing all the things, all the writing, setting the space, got the coffee, do the exercises with the journals and the writing. It wasn't all that. That helped. It felt great. But what really turned my morning was when that was all done. And I went onto the YouTubes, which I had been listening to Viking music, and I had been listening to... what was the other thing? Oh yeah, guitar and cello. No, I'm sorry, piano and cello duet concerts, which was fine. But what really saved me was when I got on YouTube and I switched over to, I want to get the word right, detective noir jazz. It's one of my favorite places to go. There's not enough of it on YouTube. Come on, guys. It put me in the mind. It put me in the mind of trench coats and gunslinging, low caps and street lights, and naughty, dangerous dames. My God, there are some of them out there, aren't there? Whew. Looking at you. Deep jungles, oceans, and mysteries behind the eyes. Whew. Possibilities in the unknown at the bottom of the drinks. Danger and excitement, romance. and plot twists. Put me in the mind of Twin Peaks. I wouldn't mind going back and checking that out again. The campy 80s series about a murder investigation. Colorful cast of characters and weird-ass camera angles. And some metaphysical interventions too, and I really liked those. I really liked the essence of things. We talked about hard magic and soft magic. I think a lot of media doesn't acknowledge magic at all. But in David Lynch's Twin Peaks series, I think it ran for 2 seasons. There was talk of a revival or of a third belated season recently. I don't know if that happened. But in this series, I want to say it's soft magic. And it's very magical. It's like, how much magic is in your show, your book, your poem? Sometimes you barely hear about it. In Tamora Pierce's books about Becca Cooper, the first book is Terrier. The last one is Mastiff. As you progress through that 3-book series, the magic gets a little harder and a little bit more to the forefront. There's less of it in the first book. And it's a little on the wild side, it's a little on the soft side. You don't know the rules. You know some things. Same with the gunslinging, detectives, coffee drinking, pie knobbing, canoodling, clandestine meeting having series. Is it clandestine or clandestine? I don't know. Nobody calls me Justine. Never once. Never on purpose. You know, people trip over the words in every conceivable way. So I'm sure that I've heard Justine. I've never heard Run Mine. Welcome to Rhyme Along with Run Mine. Welcome to Ride Along with Rhyme Mine. I'm your heist. Oh, by the way, goddamn. I guess if I choose to publish this, I was correct last time.